A Reduction in NCLEX Pass Rates as Seen by a New Shipmate by Melanie Henderson in Dr. Gould's course Education 800 at Drexel University in the fall of 2022. The NCLEX RN stands for the National Council Licensure Examination for Registered Nurses, which is an adaptive computer test required for nursing graduates to successfully pass to be registered as a licensed registered nurse in the US and Canada. Currently, we are seeing less than ideal or expected NCLEX rates for our particular cohorts. And as you can see in this shark-infested water scenario, there are many reasons why and factors that go into why the NCLEX pass rates are dipping. The, of course, goal is to be able to get to the island of NCLEX pass rates where we have best patient outcomes because we have nurses that are entering the field with higher pass rates and more skills. So the event that we're seeing is the reduction in nursing pass rates for the exam. And as a new faculty, I have been seeing some of the students who are struggling as a course instructor for a class that students are taking who failed it the first time. And in just these few students that I am teaching, I am able to see some of the reasons why this has been happening and what I'm experiencing as a new faculty or new shipmate in this particular population at this university. And in thinking of this, the previous shipwrecks and voyages are that in the past, the pass rates have actually been really well. We've always had, because of our mission of our school, we've always had a lower pass rate than perhaps some more wealthier schools, but that's kind of what is to be expected considering the students that we're able to admit because of our mission at our university, the Sisters of Mercy mission. The current status is, not to say that, people are being beaten, but, the old saying, beatings will continue until the morale improves, is that, we're placing a lot of pressure on the students, and this particular pathway is not really always the best pathway. And there are ways to start to improve morale as we go through by adding different components to the curricula. So in joining this crew as a new faculty member, you're able to see that there are some rough seas that have been going on. It's not all smooth sailing, but as an alumnus of the program, I was able to see this program in what seemed like its finest at the time when I went through, because we had higher pass rates, but we also had more collegiality seen among the faculty, for instance. So what has been happening is that you have well-meaning, seasoned faculty reaching down to help the students. And as you can see, the well-meaning faculty are kneeling on the educational system with the administration kind of in the background, not necessarily becoming involved in certain areas. What is also evident is that there is no teamwork helping along with this faculty. There are not other faculty helping the student who with well-being and success. Each faculty member seems to be operating in their own silo for the most part. In addition, you have these sharks circling the student and this full academic freedom brick kind of weighing down, which again sometimes leads to lack of teamwork. And on the student, you can also see stress, anxiety, and an increased demand on skills. Some of the other sharks that are circling and things that are leading to this current issue are the diversity in home life of our students, who are not traditional students. Most of our students are students who are working, are full-time family members, and are living at home, so they're not living on campus. So sometimes it's hard to get them to participate in campus activities or to come to campus because they're working so much to make it through school. There are also silos in our current education system, as I've described. We have faculty who may be teaching the same course who don't collaborate on the course or on testing or on any type of information to share with between the students taking the same course. So a lack of standardization in that course. There may be topics and syllabus in the syllabus to cover, but the PowerPoints, for example, are not shared equally across. So one faculty member may have more of a focus on particular parts of the PowerPoint. In addition, the stresses on complexities in the healthcare system are also causing an issue because we have new technology, new medications coming out every day. Our patients are sicker. We have additional constraints on the healthcare system also that are leading to placement issues with clinical. We have this post-COVID life that's happening. Our students' clinical placements are suffering a little bit. Our patients are sicker, as I stated. And then we also do have RNs who are leaving the profession. So there's this RN burnout that's also circling between the stressors and the post-COVID life that is currently happening in healthcare. In addition, we have the NCLEX test changes, which are coming up in April of 2023. So in the midst of the pandemic between 2019 and probably December of this year, NCLEX is changing the way that they will be testing students and adding more clinical cases, multiple choice questions or multiple answer questions. And all of this is going to have an impact on the students who are really affected by the pandemic as well, and then to have a change in that NCLEX test system. In addition, there are some lack of skilled nursing instructors because there are issues in retention. So, there may be newer faculty working who may need a little more mentoring, but because there is a little bit of silo between the faculty and even silos between different departments, we have a PA program. So is there not a way to share the anatomy and physiology courses between the PA and nursing program? And then finally, a third of nursing instructors nationwide will retire in 2025. So there will be an even deeper lack of skilled nursing instructors because many of them will be retiring in just a couple of short years. And then the State Board of Nursing is always a concern because, or an issue because they anticipate that you will have a particular pass rate or they will pull your accreditation. So that is another stressor adding to the faculty, which of course boils down to the well-being and success of the student. So based on some of the sharks that were circling in the water, is the behavior getting better or worse? I think that there is an answer to argue for both. I think that there is an awareness in what's happening. So we have the chair of the department and the dean supportive of making changes to make things better. We have a new team. Some of them are newer faculty, but a new energy coming from those newer faculty. And then the part that may be kind of getting worse is that the seasoned faculty who do mean well, but maybe are set in ways, are set in clinging to that full academic freedom component of the job, or even doing things the way that we've always done them, which is always a dangerous pattern, without being able to see that they are in a particular mindset, or that we can kind of look at things from a different perspective, or look from the balcony down to the dance floor and marry the two together. So there is an argument for both sides of whether or not the behavior is getting better or worse. It is at least that there is an awareness and that the chair is working to connect the two and work towards teamwork. So if the nursing department establishes an innovative team-oriented mindset rather than an entirely full academic freedom mindset, which is not a bad thing, but it allows for there to be some unstandardization. If we can get the innovative team-oriented mindset to kind of work together and work itself out, then the NCLEX pass rates will increase and students will have better program evaluations, because program evaluations from the student's perspective are showing that the faculty don't always give them flexibility, they don't care about them, something like that taking place, and that's showing our present organizational structure. We have non-traditional students, so sometimes we have to think of ways to, rather than come down with more rules and more firm, keeping in mind that we have to have fairness across the board, but is there a way to be firm but fair and keep things consistent so that students won't be seeing that there is inconsistencies in how each one is handled within their situation? So in thinking of the present structure of the organization, the academic freedom is followed. The structure of the organization is that, we have a chair, we have our courses that are modified by the faculty. There is not necessarily a course chair who kind of establishes a course structure and standardization and then allows the faculty member to tweak that and use that full academic freedom. Rather, full academic freedom is granted across the courses, and then you are expected to monitor and maintain your own course rather than kind of working towards standardization, getting the same information across the board to students and using innovative methods. If there were teams that worked on particular courses, then we could find more YouTube videos that might explain something better to a nurse student, or PowerPoints would be able to be split up between 3 people teaching the course, and that way they could focus more on getting more innovative with those PowerPoints and creating things rather than the rush of having PowerPoint prepared for each day of class. So that's the present organizational structure as it stands. And in looking at the current beliefs and influences, the faculty believe that their way that they do things is appropriate based on their ability to have full academic freedom. As a new person teaching the same course as another faculty member, I asked to collaborate on perhaps choosing test questions or splitting that up, or perhaps on connecting with to share PowerPoints or videos or things like that. In the current belief and influences that you do your own work, you stay in your own lane, and we really don't share. You make up your own test questions based on what you're teaching the student. And that has a huge influence on the present structure because there have been no changes made towards working towards really keeping the students' well-being and success in mind. Is it possible that this change may work for them? It would be really something worth trying out as to how we could test this in a hypothesis is if we had an innovative, just doing in one course, chairing a course, having the changes working as a team to create the course outline and content, then could we do flipped classrooms and have all of these components working together so that the students might benefit from it, and then getting their feedback on overall what they thought of the course, rather than maybe just feedback from 25 or 30 students. You might have 90 or 120, which gives you a larger N size, which kind of gives you a little bit more statistical significance in gathering information back on a course. So the future organizational structure might look like, rather than one well-meaning faculty member working to save a student, that we have new and engaged faculty in a team standing by with new ideas and innovation, teamwork, standardization, diversity in how we're teaching and who our students are, thinking of their culture, their home life, their current status, what they've been through in life. They have some life experience that is truly leading to where they are. So maybe thinking of different ways to engage them that may be different than what we would do for a traditional student that is 18 to 20 years old or 18 to 22 years old. And then the final thing is, since this NCLEX course, this exam is changing, is there a way to incorporate test taking into the curriculum? Currently, the students take exams on a computer based program, and they really aren't, they take their exam, they score on the exam, they review it themselves. So is there a way to incorporate the test taking throughout into the curriculum so that we are constantly teaching them, not during the class time perhaps, on how to take exams, but how we're working it into maybe one class per quarter or even the last 15 minutes of every class would be focused on how to succeed in test taking, because we know that test anxiety is really impacting these students as well. And then finally, we have the self-care in the course ladder, because our students are nurses who are going to take care of other people, but there is no worse profession than nursing for caring for itself. So if we build self-care into the courses, and we build test taking into the courses, and all of these other components, and work towards an innovative mindset instead of the same one that we've been stuck in, which is, they just have to learn the information, and we're not here to coddle them. We're here to, make sure that they learn the information and pass the test, is where this future organizational structure might look like. And it might be a greater success for the student overall, with less stress on them, better well-being, and success. Maybe not just on the test, but as a nurse in general with critical thinking skills. So as I worked through this activity, it really started to ask me to analyze this issue using the iceberg structure, but also to think about my own mental framework about leadership and change. And I think that the largest thing that I thought of through going through all of this is we have to change something that we're doing. There is a boat across of ideas in the background that is something that could totally be helping us with this problem, because we're not on the Titanic. We have a student population who are smart and intelligent and who have made it so far through life. And how can we get them to have more well-being and success? Because overall, that's what's going to create a better nurse, and overall, that's going to lead to our best patient outcomes. So we're not on the Titanic, so we need to make sure we don't get to become the Titanic. So looking through that spyglass, a vision for success. And the apparent vision or purpose, which drives today's reality in the system, is that we have a great chair and a dean who is supportive of our chair. We have new innovation and technology in a newly built system, classroom and building, and we're able to hopefully incorporate that into what we're doing with the students. We have sim labs, so we have all of these really innovative ideas, but again, are they the right innovative ideas is always really what's more important. And focusing on the student is additionally what's really important, because if we focus on the student and what they are telling us in their return evaluations, then we can learn from them what their biggest problems are in success in the courses, success in the program, and what the disconnects are in our program. And if nothing changes, these stormy seas will continue, and our ship may not weather the storm, because, we are impacting the hospitals that we serve around us, the hospitals that we partner with, and those hospitals may hear comments from students that say this program isn't working for us, or it's not working. The nurses on the floor may say these students aren't at their best clinically, and that may cost us clinical placement, or maybe choice clinical placements, or even further collaboration with those organizations. So in order to get to these NCLEX pass rates and getting to our best patient outcomes, which is really what the goal of every nurse is, we want to make it through the exam, we want to make it through school, and we want to get to the patient bedside. And I think that the greatest nurse of all time, who really changed a lot of what nursing looks like, is Florence Nightingale. So her quote here is one of my favorites: "Rather 10 times die in the surf, heralding the way to a new world, than stand idly on the shore." And what that means is that, nurses are really innovative in themselves in what they do. If we don't have a certain piece of equipment, or we don't have a team member when we have a crisis going on, we are working our best to really get that up to speed. So if we can get our team to maybe see a little bit of a different way, to see that change is not always a bad thing, and to really put the focus on the student and the future patient and the future of nursing, I think that our current organizational event or issue with our iceberg will really be able to stand out, to improve, and make leaps and bounds, maybe improvements in our NCLEX scores than we've even seen before, because we will be looking at our mission and the students that we allow to enter our program because of our mission and using their diversity, culture, and everything that we stand for in our organization to help them with their overall success and well-being. Thank you.